Are you looking to deploy stateful applications on GKE with Google Cloud NetApp Volumes backend, but are concerned about the security using secrets for authentication? Well, I have good news. Since Trident 24.10, we now support cloud identity. I'm Diane Patton, a technical marketing engineer with NetApp, and I'll show you how to set it up. First, let's discuss what cloud identity is. Trident Cloud Identity uses Google's Workload Identity Federation to authenticate Trident to NetApp Volumes. It will bind the Trident Controller Kubernetes service account with Google's IAM service account to provide the authentication. No longer will you need to create any keys and deploy any secrets for that authentication in your cluster. It is very easy to use and is considered more secure than using secrets, since no keys need to be maintained and securely stored, and no secrets need to be deployed for this purpose. So how do we configure it? Well, it's simple. First, we'll deploy a GKE cluster. The key here is to remember to configure workload identity on the standard cluster. Next, we will create the Google service account with the proper permissions. We will install Trident for use with Cloud Identity. A few changes need to be made in the orchestrator YAML file. And then we'll bind the Trident controller service account with the new Google service account. We will also deploy a backend, storage class, and a PVC. So let's get started. Let's start by creating a GKE cluster. We will name it and use the US Central 1 region. And we'll put one node in each zone. Choose the correct network. And this is the key. Be sure to click on security. This is where you'll find the workload identity option. So make sure to enable that and then create your cluster. So this is going to take a little time to come up. So let's go ahead and create the service account while we wait. So let's go to the service accounts, create a new, and then we'll name it. And then create it. So next we'll give it the proper predefined role, filter on NetApp, and then you'll see the Google Cloud NetApp Volumes admin role. And keep in mind, you could also use a custom role if you had one with the proper permissions. So select that role, and we can see it come up. And you can also see there's no keys, and it will stay that way. So back to GKE, we're still waiting for the cluster to come up, so I'll pause the video until it's up. Now that cluster is up. Let's take a look at it, and we'll double check to make sure that workload identity is enabled. And it is. So next, we'll go to the terminal, and we'll download the credentials for the new cluster. So we'll deploy the Trident Orchestrator CRD and create that Trident namespace. So let's clear the screen so you can see this better. And then we're going to deploy the Trident operator. So now the operator is up. So next we'll need to deploy the Trident orchestrator. So I made a few changes to that file, so I'll show you that YAML file. And you can see the cloud provider and the cloud identity has been added. And it's the same Google service account that we just created. So now we'll create the orchestrator using that new YAML file. And we'll wait for that to come fully up. So we can see it's coming up now. And at this point, we need just one more container to come up on the Trident node pods. And there we are. If we look at the service accounts, we can see the Trident controller service account has been deployed. So next, we will use the Google SDK to bind the Trident controller service account to the new Google service account that we just created, Trident GKE Cloud Identity. And remember, this has the NetApp Volumes admin predefined role. Now don't forget to make sure that the annotation is there. And in our case, since we brought up the cluster with workload identity already enabled, annotation was there, but if you add that later, you will need to configure the annotation. So I configured it here. So now if we go back to the Google service accounts and our new service account, we can see that Trident Controller is there as a workload identity user. Next, let's go to NetApp Volumes And look at the storage pool that we created earlier. And it's got no volumes in it. So now let's add the backend. And this is what the YAML file looks like. And you can see any of the API credential information has been removed from the backend file. You don't need that anymore. There's also no secrets called out from the backend file. So let's create that backend in the Trident namespace. And it will come right up using the credentials from the Trident GKE Cloud Identity Service account. So last but not least, let's add a storage class and a PVC. So I'll quickly add a storage class for the Flex service level. And then I will choose a YAML file for a PVC in Flex. So if we take a look at the PVC, it's bound already and the PV is 20 gig. And let's note that the name ends in 15A. So going back to NetApp volumes, we can see that the storage pool now has one volume. And then if we go to volumes, there is a new volume in US Central 1 of size 20 gig, whose name ends in 15A. So we just showed how easy it is to set up Cloud Identity with Trident version 24.10. Try it yourself. More information can be found at the provided links. Thank you for watching and have a great day.